Okay, so September, there's things to be done in the greenhouse, Keith?
Well, the harvesting is again the main thing in there. The tomatoes, cucumbers, aubergines, peppers, they'll be in full swing at the moment, so there's plenty to do there. But towards the end of the month, I suppose those will be finishing off. So you can make some room in the greenhouse to bring in tender plants that you want to overwinter, like citrus plants, the oranges, limes, lemons, and pelargoniums perhaps to overwinter. So it's a nice time in the greenhouse. There's plenty to pick and eat, and you're preparing really for that season where you need to protect things. Less watering, less feeding, as the temperatures reduce.
And those people who've earlier on in the year put up greenhouse shading and that sort of thing, now is the time to sort of think about taking it down?
Yeah, that probably needs to come off now. It's this balance, isn't it? We've talked about it before. And then in the next few months we'll be saying about putting bubble wrap inside the greenhouse, to keep the temperatures up during the winter. So it's a constant changing of things for greenhouse gardening, because you're just trying to extend the season, just try and make the growing conditions as good as you can for as long as you can.
Okay, and as far as sort of people's lawns now are concerned, what about people who want to start a new lawn? Is now a good time?
Yeah, very good time. Lawns probably have had quite a good summer because we've had that rain through August, which keeps them green. But generally in September the rains start again and the lawn starts to green up and to grow again. And it's a good time to re-sow, say, bald patches, and to just tidy up the edges and make sure those are repaired. But it's also a time to, if you haven't done it perhaps earlier in the year or last year, to scarify and to aerate. Now, they're not easy jobs, they're quite physical jobs, but if you've got a small lawn you can do it by hand. It's a good workout, much better than going to the gym, very good for the stomach muscles. So scarifying is taking away what we call thatch. It's the dead grass that builds up on the surface, and it stops the air and water getting in. So you have to scratch it off with those wire rakes, or use a machine if you've got a bigger lawn. And aerating is done with either a fork or a machine that makes holes in the lawn to let the air and water in. And you can also fill those holes then with sand or soil just to improve the turf generally. And the other thing to do in September and October is to start feeding again. But you do need to use an autumn feed rather than a summer. The summer feeds have got lots of nitrogen in. That's for making leaf growth, so it makes the lawn green up and gives you a good top. The autumn feed is got much more potash in, so it's for roots. There's also moss killer in most of these as well, but it's really, the fertiliser is to develop root growth so the plants are strong through the winter and then ready for new growth in the spring. So that can be done in September and October. And then, as you say, if you want to sow a new lawn, this is a perfect time. There's plenty of moisture in the soil's still warm, and grass will germinate probably within about 7 days. And it's also a time, I think, for laying turf. Some people say wait till October. I think if there's enough moisture around, there certainly is at the moment, I start laying turf in September, and it gives it a chance to root before the winter.
Brilliant. And any last minute sort of general advice, anything we've missed out?
Well, composting, you've got a lot of waste at this time of year. The summer bedding plants are coming out. You might be cleaning a greenhouse out, there's the tomatoes and things finished. So you've got lots of waste products, and it's well worth making your own compost if you've got the room. Or starting a new compost bin. You never have enough really. And I suppose the two key things about compost are mixing different sorts of materials. So it's not all grass, or it's not all leaves. Just mix it up and stir it from time to time just to let the air in. If you have a lot of leaves, then they're better dealt with separately, either in a leaf bin or just in a black bag. As long as the leaves are damp, you put them in a black bag, tie up the top, pierce a few holes in it, put it behind the shed for a year, and then you've got this lovely leaf mould to use the next year. Well worth doing, particularly if you're raking leaves up anyway, you might as well put them in a bag and use them.
And what about adding just a little bit of garrotta just to aid the process?
Yeah, garrotta, or I actually use chicken pellets, anything just to speed up the decomposition in the compost bin. You don't need to do that for leaves. It helps it along, speeds it up.
That's brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Keith.